Do we have are we here? Chat, you need to let me know. Can you see me? Am I alive? Am I moving on your screen? Because this is a totally different setup than what some other folks have done before. Yes. Okay. I got people back on the background. Um, yes. All right. You see me? Can you hear me? That's the other thing. All right. So first off, um, wow, 1,000 subscribers. I think today alone was like maybe 20 subscribers that we got. So for me, 20 is a huge number. Um, so I just wanted to get on here and just my own personal thank you to everybody that watches my channel. Um, Thank you for bearing with me on the technical stuff. This is a new thing for me here, so I've never hosted a live. I'm using different software than what everybody else uses apparently, and yeah, as long as you can hear me and see me, I'm okay. So thank you. Um, yeah, thank you for being here tonight. I'm so pumped. Um, you know, 1,000 subscribers. If we think about that for just like 1 second, 1,000 subscribers is like, I mean, that's a full auditorium, you know? And yeah, it just blows my mind to know that that many people look at the channel, enjoy the videos. It's a yeah, and I wanted to come on here to this is me excited, right? I want to share my excitement with you. Um, so on that note, you'll see in the live chat, it's slightly different than some other ones. You'll see at the very top, there's a Q&A. That's the best way I'm going to be able to keep track of questions. I know we already had a couple of questions. I think Greg had asked a question already. Um, but but before I go further, I want to talk about SEMA and how awesome it was. And it would be weird if I talked alone about that. So I called up a couple of my friends, and they're here with us today. So let's see. We have Ryan. Ryan, you're live now, and we have Dr. Paraj Patel. I mean, come on now, right? These guys were at SEMA with me.
Hey, what's
What's
up?
going on, guys? It's good to see you again, by the way. Um, it
Oh,
just
yeah, thanks.
it.
I'm trying to get these headphones to work here in a sec.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Yeah, so you guys know Ryan from Fine Detailing and Fine Detailing Supplies. If you haven't followed Ryan, man, he's just opened up his shop, and I mean, talk about like somebody who's putting in the work. Yeah, so Ryan's a good friend. We talk a lot, and we were at SEMA together. So, and Ryan, new website. What's the name of this website?
We're out here to plug my stuff. Don't worry about it, bro.
Oh, come on.
No, I no, it's all good. It's finedetailingsupplies.com. But yeah, it's going well, dude. But yeah, I had a blast with you guys at SEMA, man. It was so fun.
Yeah, it was wild. And really, I think what we can do here tonight is maybe we'll take it day by day. You know, obviously, so SEMA was what, Tuesday through Friday? I think Tuesday was
Yeah.
day one, right? So
Yeah.
we all landed Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. So none of us we weren't at SEMA on Tuesday, right? So that was just pure travel day for most of us. We all got into the house. So Ryan, Paraj, and a few others, we all shared an Airbnb, which was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Um, and then we didn't get out to SEMA until the next morning. So Ryan, on your day one of SEMA, what was your day like?
It was pretty overwhelming. It has been. It was last year too. But so I came with a new set of eyes this year. Last year I was just kind of going to soak it in, and this year I went kind of as a buyer, looking for things I could bring in the store, which was really cool. But I didn't really find myself accomplishing that on day one. It was more like social and like networking and just like meeting people and chatting. So yeah, day one was like I think I hit both halls, two halls like north and west, and then which is the new exhibitors, and then like the OG exhibitors. So yeah, I just went around and just met people and didn't I couldn't really like look at products. So that was day two for me, which we can get into. But yeah, first day was just like literally chatting all day. It was crazy.
For anybody who wasn't at SEMA, it is hard to describe just how huge the convention center is. I mean, what to walk from, say, like one side of the convention center to the other, from South Hall all the way to west, which were the two opposites. Uh, my gosh, that was probably what a at least a
At
35
least a
40 minute
35,
walk. It felt
40-minute
like.
walk, it felt like.
Yeah, it was. I was trying to see if I can pull up my data, but yeah, it was crazy because we ended up taking the Tesla loop, which is for those that don't know, there's a tunnel underground that the Boring Company made. And then you go underground, you literally hop in a Tesla and it drives you 2 minutes to the next hall and it drops you off outside. But yeah, if you don't do that, yeah, I think it's literally like miles. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So, and you started in the West Hall, I think, right? And
Yeah.
that was where all of the detailing stuff was.
Yes. Yeah, that's where it's pretty much all detailing, and then the far right side is like randomly like off-road stuff. And then,
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much the whole left side of the West Hall is literally all pretty much all detailing. Yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger.
yeah. And I'd say my intuition is that out of the the car stuff that was there, 50% of it was probably just wrapping and maybe some tinting, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah, there was a lot of wrap, tint, PPF. Everyone seemed to have a new film out and a new brand, but that was, oh, you're right. That's a very good point. Because obviously we just skimmed past that stuff, but like there
Mhm.
was a lot of that. And then some bigger, like big like System X always has a big booth and Ceramic Pro and all those. But yeah, you're right. There was weirdly a lot of PPF this year.
Did you have a certain booth in mind that you wanted to really shoot to, like on day one, like right when you walked in?
I'm always I like to hit the big hitters. I went to obviously the Rag Company booth. I went to Grios has a good booth. Rupes has a cool booth every year. Flex, all the big boys that have been doing it a long time, like they have usually pretty impressive booths. But again, there wasn't that many new like SEMA was a little anticlimactic for me in terms of like innovation. Um, I think Rupes put out that nano tool, but like other than that, there wasn't like too much like new stuff. Um,
I
but yeah, I always go to the big booths first.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Um, when I went, day one was just getting my bearings, right, and trying to just understand like what was where. Because I picked up my badge. I started in the South Hall and then walked outside first. So the outside parking lot was just full of just lots of lifted trucks with you know disconnected drive shafts and the whole deal. It was pretty
Dude,
crazy what
those
was.
they were putting tire shine on the tread, like on the
Yes,
actual bottom of the tire.
yeah, and not like
So weird.
not the stuff that we use. It was
Glazed
yeah,
donut.
yeah, hot shine. It was hot shine that was out there.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
so yeah, so I went over, yeah, grabbed my badge in the morning and then just kind of wandered around West Hall, just to understand, what was there. Um, but it was pretty quick that I noticed that, yeah, the your point on innovation is spot on. Um, when I look for like innovation and new things and the game changers, I'm usually looking for like something that will make my life a lot easier, whether it's reducing a step, or maybe, I don't know, or totally, yeah, eliminating a step, or reducing
Yeah,
time on something. Like those are, to me, those are game changers. When somebody comes out with, a whole line of chemical, and I think it's great to have the options. Um, but I could probably pick out like 15 iron removers that all do the same thing, more or less, right? I'm kind of
yeah,
minimizing it, but like there's an iron removal step. So were there
yeah.
so I have two innovations in mind that I saw. Um,
Okay.
I have balloons on me now. This is wild. I don't even know how to do that. So there were two innovations that I saw. Um, Mainly, it was around the Merca, the rotary with the Merca, and
Oh yeah, the one that Pirage made smoke. Yeah,
yes, yes, and then also uh, the Max Flow pressure washer line. Those were the
yeah,
two that like really caught my eye. Um, you know, I put out a video yesterday. I think
yeah,
it was yesterday on the Max Flow. The next one is going to be the Merca, because that was a completely different polisher.
yeah, yeah. I won't spoil that then for the audience, but yeah, that was a
Oh no,
tool.
go for it, man. Go for
No,
it.
no, it's cool. I mean, we walked up and we were playing with it. Merca, for those that don't know, Merca put out like a corded rotary tool, but seems to be like there's definitely some software going on in that, and like the more you press on it, like the more cut you'll get, and then as soon as you pull it up, if you pull it off the surface, it slows down so you don't get as much sling. But it's just the weirdest looking tool. It looks like a whale is the
Mhm.
best way to describe it. Like, the body on it's really weird, but I tell you what, it's the silence, the speed, the power of it, like, it is really nice. They're definitely still designing, which is their specialty, right, is, like, sanding, right, and, like, body shops, like, finishing work, not necessarily in the detailing
Hey,
world,
Steve,
so I
can you hear
get
me?
it, but it's just,
Yeah,
I
Paraj,
guess
we
it
could
was
all.
pretty unique.
Everybody can hear you. Sorry, Ryan.
Oh, sorry. I cut you off. But
No,
I can't, I can only hear you, Steve. I can't hear Ryan,
I don't see him on the
oh,
screen yet, Steve, so I don't know if he's in the back.
and I can only see you.
weird because he's showing up. I am, for anybody who says I'm a clown at this, I am.
He's using new software, so bear with
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
Newly 1000K subs, so he's a big deal now. So we just got to let him catch up.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Chat, if you can hear Paraj, just let us know. Um, because your video is definitely up there. I can definitely see
Yeah,
video.
I don't see him, so maybe you're seeing him on the back end. But
Okay. But we'll keep going. We'll keep going.
yeah,
So the Merca polisher was, you know, like you said, you push down on it more, it speeds up. And then when you push down too hard, we get the red,
yeah.
right? So I forget, did it turn off or was it just a slowdown?
It slows down, so the RPMs just slow down. So the one lady in the booth was mentioning like that's what happens if you pull up, so then you're not slinging polish everywhere. So that was kind of the idea. It's innovative. That was one small innovation that I did see.
Okay. Um, and yeah, the smoothness though, I mean, there's no gearbox, right? Like that's, and every polisher we have, it's like you have a horizontal motor with a transfer case and then down into your rotary. Merca got rid of that completely. Just completely, they got rid of it. So yeah, that was, and the sound. I mean, it. I like, I kid you not, guys. The sound was almost non-existent. It was like probably like the 3 inch.
Yeah,
You
I'd
know,
say so. It was like nothing. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
so out of the detailing, let's see. Actually, no. All right. So day one was social, right? What was day two
Yeah.
for you?
Um, Day 2 was, like, actual digging in and going and talking to contacts and people that I had, met and known, like, distributors that I've worked with and, just, like, digging in and, like, learning more about products, and I went and talked to Next LED, and I talked to MaxFlow, and I went and talked to AR, some other tidbits that I found that I might be bringing into the store, so we'll leave those as a surprise, but yeah, talking to actual distributors, that was a lot of fun. I went to the Thor booth and went and saw my favorite guy, Mr. Katipa, and they interviewed me for like 40 minutes in Korean, and he had a translator. So I maybe it'll be on his channel. I don't know, but I love those guys and that brand so much. Actually, in that world, in detailing, he is launching. It's called the Katipa Red Line, so it's like their pro line. So he has all his existing products, and these are technically going to be more pro, but knowing Katipa, it's still probably going to be pretty easy to apply. So I'm excited for that to come out. I have no idea when it comes out, but he showed it to me, and of course, in Katipa fashion, it's like the most beautiful boxes and labels, and like literally looks like a. It was like padded silk box with like the little glass bottle. I was like, dude, you're killing it. So that was one of the highlights of day 2 for me.
I think, yeah, I mean, Katiba is just that brand in general. The way they do artwork is freaking, it's awesome. They have the best looking artwork, I think. It's just totally
Yeah,
different, you know. Um,
yeah,
I'd say day two, that's when I really started walking around and just talking to people. Uh, but the thing that like, and this set in kind of quick. How many Lamborghinis did you see?
I don't
Just
know. I can't remember. Maybe
you,
not, maybe a few. I don't know.
you
Does it
can't
stand
remember,
out?
or you lost count because everywhere I turned, it was like every
uh,
booth, every single booth had Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari. Like it would have been wild if a base model Camry like what was on the floor. like
that'd
that.
be actually that'd be like a sick joke to play, like if KCX, instead of having their custom car, they had literally a base Corolla.
Oh my
Like
god.
that would honestly be a flex, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, but it was crazy because, I'd go down this hall with, like, wraps, and they're just pulling wrap, and it's not and, it's not gentle to take these
Yeah.
wraps off, and they're just pulling them on and off of these Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Um, so that was like I got numb to supercars, dude. I mean, how many Paganis and whatnot can you see in a day before you're like, "It's just another Zonda,"
Yeah.
you know?
I know. Yeah, I had that feeling after Monterey. After I rinsed this wash 300 cars, I'm like, ah, this is just a Pagani, no big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So, yeah, so day 2, that's when we started walking around, talking to more people.
yeah.
Did you ever get to venture out into the other halls? So West Hall, like we said earlier, was just it's kinda like our area, the detailing stuff. How
Yeah.
about, did you get out into Central, North Hall?
Central, I didn't. That was more like, wait, is Central like the Chinese tire one, or that's just the car one in general, right?
Th that was, Central? No, Central was
I think
the new people. So that's where,
I thought, or that's North. North is new.
North was new.
Central's
That's
like,
right, Central
yeah, I think.
sorry, West, North, Central was, yeah, the main attraction area. Yeah, so
Yeah, that's where all the car guys go. So
yes,
I
yeah.
didn't. That wasn't my cup of tea. I enjoyed. I think it was South, which is where all the tools are. Um, That's where Merca was, and Bosch, and all the cabinets, and Milwaukee booth, which was like the crazy. It was like there's like 500 people in the booth, and you can't even like touch a tool. It's like there's like so many people in there. But yeah, so the other main hall I enjoyed outside of our detailing stuff was was South with the tools, but then also, and that's where you nerded the 3D printing machines. They had some crazy machines in there.
Yes,
So it wasn't just detailing, but that was a really cool haul as well in North.
Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you, Faraj. Yeah,
Okay.
I think he's
Ryan,
in a
you can
back
hear me.
room, Steve, because I can't see him.
you can't see him. I can't believe this.
No.
So now I can see and hear both of you.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Ryan. I can give you a different link, and it should pop up.
Yeah. Do you want me to rejoin?
Yeah, if you want, it's in the chat, in the text message.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll talk with Paraj though, because now Paraj,
Now you can hear
this
and see me.
yeah. So this was your first SEMA, correct? Or no,
Second,
you went
second.
last year.
So yeah, yeah. So last year my wife came with me, and honestly, I didn't know what to expect. It was like honestly really overwhelming. Um, yeah, it was. It definitely just was really overwhelming. Um, I can see you, Ryan. Can you hear me?
All right.
Oh, sweet.
All
Okay,
right.
cool.
Fixed it. Look at that.
I was just saying this is my second SEMA, so I was able to, I guess, kind of get my bearings down that first time around, and walk the halls with a couple of the guys, and this time I was a lot more prepared. I actually contacted a lot of these manufacturers ahead of time, to be like, hey, I want to come play with your polishers and talk to you about XYZ. So it kind of worked out well.
So compared to last year, because everybody, of course, is always saying like, "Oh, this year's SEMA wasn't as good as last year." What was your opinion? Was it about the same? Did you did it meet your expectations? What was your
Like
take?
you saw my like what day to day was. I thought I had a better time this year because again I was just more prepared. But I think the vibe was a little off, and like as far as like number of people, I felt like there was a lot less people, a lot less traffic.
I got the same impression, even though I wasn't there last year. Um,
Yeah.
that seemed to be a common a common theme. Hold on, they say they can't see Ryan. I got him. That was a common theme, with a lot of people in the booths. Um,
Yeah.
so, but you did something. You went with a plan, right?
Yeah.
So,
I,
what?
I had I had like targets. I had
Yeah,
targets and I had a plan in mind. So it
yeah.
was I was very targeted with every day.
So when you came in, so all right, so just to back up, you all know that I'm an engineer, and um, I have tools, right? And I brought calipers with me because I was like, I'm going to measure some stuff. Dr. Paraj,
I'm an engineer. I measure stuff. Yeah.
yeah, you come with a bag with your I don't know what the RPM meter was. I forget what that was called, but you came out with your RPM meter and the vibrometer, and I can't count how many booths I saw you at where you were you were measuring the vibration on polishers. It was
Yeah.
wild.
I had like my standardized like a foam pad that I used on every polisher to do measurements. Um, uh, both 3 inch, 5 inch, 6 inch. I had extra random backing plates in the bag that you probably didn't see, but I
Mhm.
had backing plates. I had a couple wrenches to change out the backing plates, and yeah, the vibrometer and then the RPM meter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doc, when you pulled those out, those manufacturers started sweating. They're like, what's happening?
Well, because like they claim things, right? And like I assume, like when you're at a trade show, like you bring your best stuff, right? Like, you want people to try stuff out, and you want to like make sure you check all the bearings, so to speak. Quite literally check all the bearings and make sure like these polishers are super smooth. And um, you know, I don't know. I'm in this pursuit of finding the best, and I feel a little like Matt Mormon when I say that, but I'm in this pursuit of finding the best. And I kind of felt a little bit like that.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that
you
was wild.
Yeah, you have a reason for that though, and okay, and just make sure we got smooth video. You had a reason for that, and we talked about an interview, and I'm gonna have a. That's another one where I'm gonna have a video up with you regarding the issue that you were tackling, and out all day long. Oh, oh, I lost. Oh, I lost everybody. Do you all still have me? This software stinks. This software stinks. Let's see here. You guys got to tell me if you have me or not. Can you guys see me now? All right, cool. Yeah, I dropped out for a second there. My bad. Let me get everybody. Let's get everybody back in here. Okay. Yeah, this is junkyard. I am never trying this again. Don't listen to the internet when they tell you this stuff is good because it's not. This is terrible.
That's funny.
Yeah, good start, Steve, with the first stream. Just technical
It's
difficulties.
it's first time for everything. First time
Yeah,
for everything.
yeah. North Face. That's what I'm using. I'm using OBS with Video Ninja, and no, never again. Don't. I'm not going to use that again. Um, so I
It's all
apologize.
good. What?
Go ahead.
No worries.
Dude,
Doc,
there's 19 people logged in right now.
I feel bad for them.
it's okay. It'll level out, but we can keep it. When you dropped off, Doc said he was going to show you. He had a special package, but he's waiting for you to come back. So
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm back here. So, what do we have?
Yeah. So I was saying that I had a special delivery today. So before I left for SEMA, I placed an order straight from our People's Republic. I have another testing item in my hand.
Oh,
And so, did you get a chance to stop by the Rupes booth
I did.
and
that is literally
try out
Rupes.
their
Yeah.
new? Yeah. So you tried out the new Nano V2, right?
Yep.
And so I saw the release for it from Clean Garage. I think they might have popped it a little too early. I feel like they released it a little early. But I happened before I even saw the new Nano, I saw this pop up as a new device, and I was like, you know what, I need to test that thing. And so it's interesting because it's got the same kind of trigger as the Rupes, but it's on the bottom instead of the top, and still has the same dial, clicks and everything like that. And I literally just opened the box like 20 minutes ago and haven't had to
Is
test
it
it, but it feels pretty good.
is it the same like magnetic head release, or is it
No,
click?
no, no, no. It's like the same like a manual change out, right? Like it's like
Okay.
there's like a wrench and all this stuff. So it's definitely not a quick change out. But I feel like a lot of people that run these nanos, they have like a set like backing plate on it, and they don't really change it out too much,
Yeah.
you know. And so, but yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty smooth. So, anyways, more to come.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How
So yeah,
many
you were talking. Yeah, go ahead.
how many polishers did you leave with at SEMA, Doc?
Um, six. Six polishers,
What?
batteries. Yeah, I mean it was a little ridiculous, but
Oh my God, that's wild.
yeah.
Someone wants to know how much that new machine you had is, Doc, the Nano.
Uh, Alibaba delivered $65, literally a tenth of the Rupes polisher.
Heard it here first.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
come on.
so we'll and it may be like utter crap. I have no idea. Right. I literally just pulled it out of the box, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go do a live broadcast. I'm going to show off something. But
There you go. Well, but
we'll see.
that's something that we talked about is, a lot of the tooling that's out there can come from OEs,
Oh
or
yeah, for,
so, I
yeah,
think
totally.
some of the secret sauce is down, down into the internals, and things like what we mentioned was like the magnetic head on the Rupes. That's totally different. Maybe, I don't know if that's a patented thing, but that seems to be
Yeah. Oh yeah.
unique to Rupes.
Well, imagine the amount of engineering that goes into something like that. That's what you're paying for, right? You're paying for like the refinement, the engineer, and the quality control. The number of hands that touch a polisher rather than machines. So yeah, it's what you're paying for. And I think ultimately with a lot of these things, you get what you pay for. So, but can't deny that there's you know some quality out there that needs
Mhm.
researching. So, but you were doing. I think you came home from SEMA like every day at like 7 or 8 o'clock. Ready for dinner.
We're already done with dinner, I
It's
feel
like
like. Yeah, it's
turbo.
like,
I
"Oh,
think it
what's
was
up?"
turbo 6 p.m. kind of guy.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Somebody said that. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, that was.
So
I was always the last one back, because and anytime we walked as a group, you guys you guys went and did your own thing. I don't know what happened. No,
Well, we
and
left you
it,
at the 3D printers, so
yeah, and actually that's my 3D printer here, and then that's the old one over there. So
nice. Ryan, I've always wanted someone that had a 3D printer, and now I have someone that has a 3D printer, and I just send you a
that's
bunch
right.
of STL files to print and ship to me because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Hell yeah, I can do that. You know what? And I don't have it here. I printed out one of those Aztec death whistles. Have you ever seen that?
No, what's that?
No, they're a very loud whistle, and it sounds like somebody screaming. It's pretty wild. So I
Hmm.
printed them out for the kids. um, yeah, no. Anytime we were as a group, I would walk off, and I can't help but stop and talk to people.
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of my problem. So yeah, when we were walking past 3D printers, yeah, I stopped and talked to them because I wanted to know, like, all right, what does the 3D printer space look like right now? Because it's been a few years since I've been out of it. Um, what does metal 3D printing look like? Is there
Hmm.
potential for mass manufacturing? Like, I have all these questions for people, and
Yeah.
yeah, I want to get their responses. Uh, the other thing that I would do too is, as I walked from, especially with things that I was more familiar with, uh, and they know now. I did this with AR and oh my God, Franco,
Dear
uh,
Lord,
dear Franco,
$100 super chat.
oh
I
my
think you
gosh,
should send him one of these whistles.
I think
Yeah.
so, Franco. You're getting
I have no
something
idea
from
what
me.
that is, but yeah,
I don't
send
know,
him a whistle.
I don't know what yet, but geez, you
Yeah,
can't
there
do
you
that
go.
to me.
Put that 3D printer to use.
Yes,
Um,
100%. Um, Oh, it's gonna get a lot of use. Yeah. So, but right now it's a lot of trinkets right now, uh, and just dialing it in essentially. So, yeah. So then, I just want to, when I was going to each booth, I would start off with really basic questions. I did it with AR, I did it with MaxFlow. Anybody who had polishers, Merca was another one. Um, I'd go up and say like, "Oh yeah, is that a pressure washer? Is that where it squirts water? What's the psi? What's the flow rate? Where are you measuring the pressure? Is it three pistons, swivel plate? Like, and I would go further and further and further with technicalities until either they figured out I was not, just like I don't want to say normal person, but they would figure out that I have a technical background, or I would reach their limit of what they knew, and they would start saying, "Oh, I gotta talk to the engineers about that one." Um,
Yeah.
It's an
Uh,
important tactic because it kind of filters out people who are just selling junk and things that they don't know about. Um, I can't say that I hit any of that at SEMA.
yeah, I noticed that in your Maxwell video, like you were asking, like I saw that interview at Maxwell 5 times on 5 different people's videos, but your interview was by far the most educational and like learning about like the motor and talking. I didn't know it was water cooled, right? Like just like learning about all that because you were asking the right questions and asking like the right questions. And so that was super interesting to see. And Sonny obviously knew what he was talking about, so he
Mhm.
was able to answer him. But um, yeah, I like that. That could be an interesting perspective. Maybe you need a full week at SEMA to even go around and do Steve interviews. Even Josh's interview you did was like more interesting than the other ones. Like, oh, it's a new pressure washer. It's teal and black. Congratulations. You were like asking real questions. So I enjoyed both of those videos.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So to that point, like, did you? I think you know how you were saying like when I started pulling those tools out, like the people at the booth were like just like, whoa, like did you find that like when you started talking like on their level, like the people who engineered whatever device you were looking at, I honestly think like those people got like a better appreciation for you, like, hey, this guy understands how this is made. Like I'm willing to like talk to him about it more. Like, did you find more engagement when you started talking like that?
100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Same.
because
That is phenomenal. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The big thing is like, all right, so IK, we have Iban who we talk to a lot, and he's incredibly knowledge about IK sprayers. Uh, Tall guy next to him, he's the engineer on, how they work, and he does a lot of the design work for the bottles, the sprayers, straws, pumps, whatever it is. And you know, as somebody who has gone to, these trade shows and whatnot, putting down the same sales speech over and over again gets boring.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
yeah, when you have somebody come in that can start speaking at a higher level,
I bet it was
Pat
super refreshing for them
is
too.
so
Yeah,
refreshing. They get
yeah,
excited,
yeah.
and um, yeah, it's really fun to see them kind of light up because then that's where you start nitpicking and finding like the nuances of things and the really cool features of stuff. Um,
You know what's really neat? Like the fact that if when you find out that you may you may actually know a little bit more than the people working the booth, I think uh, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that sometimes may spark innovation on their side. Like when you start asking those questions, right? Like when I was at the Flex booth and I'm talking to, Michael, the German engineer who was like the primary engineer for their polishers and their revamping. I was sitting there, I was like, I literally took an angle grinder to your counterweight and I shaved weight off of it to try to make it better. And he's just like looking at me like, you did what?
what
And
kind
I'm
of
like, yeah, dude. I was like, I'm trying to make it smoother. And I was like, I shaved off weight from your counterweight. And he's like, like he was caught off guard and like it just engaged him even more.
yeah,
So I don't know that, uh, I
no,
think what you probably did was what I think SEMA is all about, you know?
yeah, that was, that's just fun for me, because I like to know the whys behind everything. um so we've talked about a lot about West. um Paraj, was there actually Merca? That was the one that I wanted to talk about real quick. So we were
Yeah,
talking about vibrations earlier and how the Merca does not have a dry, a gear or a transfer case, um,
yeah,
with all this gearing backlash and
yeah.
vibrations happening. So it's incredibly smooth. Um, what happened at the Merca booth there, Paraj?
I I might have burned a pad and caused it to smoke and maybe burn through the acrylic sheet that they that they had there. Like the beauty of that machine, and I know you love the engineering in this thing. Like you have not stopped talking about that Merca machine,
Oh
and
yeah,
the engineering in that thing, that to make it like a production unit, you know, for people that are like, you know, in a production line, and they have like a certain set, like you were telling me this, right? Like it's a
Yes.
production machine. Somebody like via Bluetooth can like set a certain speed, certain pressure, and be like, you know, this is what
Go.
it's got to be. And I just kind of was busy, you know, taking measurements, and the next thing I know, this thing's running at like 10,000 RPMs, and I started smoking pads, and
Yeah.
the panel. Yeah.
And
So
and the reaction wasn't get out, right?
no, they
They just
laughed,
started
and then
laughing.
they're like, "Oh, let's find a new pad. Do it again." You know.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, that was pretty
Yeah,
fun.
I asked them about the 5 inch, standard form factor. When are they going to come out with 5 inch, and when are they going to get the trigger lock? And like, we know. Like, what are you
It's
doing? And
Yeah.
the first question anybody's gonna ask
Hmm.
is there gonna
Yeah.
be a 5-inch DA?
Yeah, but listening to,
It might have been under wraps, right? Like the guy like
yeah,
gave a little smile, right? He gave a little smirk, and one guy like said something in German, and they walked away, you know? And so,
Exactly.
yeah,
so
that's yeah, Matt had said like they're working on it, but who knows how
yeah,
long it'll take, right? And
right.
he said he went to their factory. It's like a compound in the middle of Finland, and like they don't need to like they're like good. Like they don't need to do anything. They're like such a
Yeah.
massive company, and so I don't think they're in any hurry. Even though here people would foam at the mouth for a 5 inch Merca, especially if it had a trigger lock. Um,
Oh yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that tool will do well if and when they actually release one.
So
Hmm.
I'm thinking about it though, right? We have Merca doing this new setup without a gearbox. Um, is that going to pave the way for other companies to start doing that? Like, are we at the bottom of something that is about to take off?
I think what I think that's going to be one thing. I think ergonomics is going to be a huge deal moving forward.
Yep.
Um, I'll tell you a really brief story. So um, during COVID, right, every surgeon, you know, was stuck at home, right? We did emergency surgeries, but we didn't really, you know, we weren't doing a lot of elective surgeries, right? Resources were limited, time in the hospital was limited, and when we were operating, I'm sorry, when we were not operating, you know, a lot of times surgeons who spent their lives in the hospital were forced to be at home, right, with their families, and whether, you know, for better or for worse, you know, priorities changed for a lot of people, you know, and spending that time at home, you know, kind of refocus people and be like, okay, I need to be around longer, I need to be smarter about the way I'm working, you know, et cetera. And you know, ergonomics and being, you know, the longevity of, you know, being a surgeon and all this kind of stuff, it becomes super important, right? And so I kind of pull that parallel to a lot of this stuff that we're talking about, you know, and you know, you're looking at, you know, finding that machine or something like whatever Merca is doing. What a phenomenal way of advancing technology, right? Like you are, you know, leading the pack. And I don't know how long that machine, you know, maybe it's been out for longer than it was discovered, you know, or a form of that technology, you know.
Yeah.
But the fact that it barely vibrates and it has that much power because it's a direct drive, and you know, if they kind of figure out that ergonomics part of it, like the lock control, and you know, think about what Liquid Elements is doing, right? They make their mini polisher like freaking, you know, 2 feet wide, right?
Mhm.
And they make it 2 feet wide so that you're not ruining your shoulders, you know, holding a mini polisher.
Oh,
And so,
interesting.
and so the Liquid Elements doesn't need to make their polisher, you know, 18 inches long. They can make it this short, but the way it was explained to me was, well, you know, think about all the shoulder issues you have from holding a polisher for that long. You know, the wider, the longer you make it, your kind of shoulder width, and ergonomically, it's, you know, a better machine.
Yeah.
I think once you kind of nail down ergonomics and you talk about longevity, you know, like people that detail day in, day out, I think you get somebody, you get a manufacturer that can nail that down. Somebody wrote, you pay for it, you know,
Mhm.
you pay for performance, you pay for ergonomics.
for
Yeah,
sure.
that people we don't think about that very often. And if you're using it time and time again, or even like the machines where you're testing the vibration dock, that makes a difference. Like there's a tool that will go unnamed here, but I had a DA and I used it on one car, and then after I could barely close my hands because it vibrated
Hmm.
so much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just did
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
car. You imagine I was doing this for 40 years, like so we do have to pay attention to ergonomics. And while it's maybe not a sexy topic to talk about, it is important. And yeah, that Merca, the way that it like the handle on it and the ergonomics was super interesting. So, but to go back to what you initially said, Steve, I think maybe because polishers have all pretty much like I think we've like hit a plateau in terms of like the innovation. So maybe you're right. Maybe that's the next level, and I wonder if they can make those in battery powered machines. That same. I see. I don't know enough about the engineering to understand what the differences are, but I mean, you said it basically does what it doesn't have gears, or it doesn't have what doesn't it have?
It doesn't
The
have
Merca,
gears. It doesn't have
right?
any gears. So the
There's no planetary system. It's
yeah,
literally a motor top of the pack.
yep.
That's kind of cool. Can you do that with a random orbital in theory?
I think so, yeah, because they do it on the 3 inch
Yeah,
machines.
I think you can. Think about like it's based. Think about like your Milwaukee random orbital sander, right?
Yeah,
The motor's sitting right on top, very minimal
sure.
vibration, right? It's just trying to figure out how to get that, you know, function around in form, right? Because you can't hold like, a palm sander like that for, 6, 7 hours, polishing, doing your 2, 3 step or whatever, and be ergonomically fine.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they could. Yeah, they move to that, and then battery powered machines. Maybe
Mhm.
that is the future, Steven. Maybe they're. I mean, I'm sure. Like you said, one of these Chinese manufacturers will rip them off literally next year. That's what happened with the Merca 3 inch, right? The ShineMate EV212 came out,
Mhm.
but I'd argue that it's maybe better because it has a trigger lock, right? So they'll just take their design and make it better,
Right.
probably.
So, we have about a little over 10 minutes left. Um,
Yeah.
was there any takeaway from SEMA from you guys this year that you're like, yeah, this is definitely going to be a new direction for me, whether it be in detailing, business, personal. Um, are you gonna go to SEMA next year?
Mm.
Like, what were your takeaways from
Oh,
this year?
I can go first. I'll definitely go next year, and I'll go every year just because it's, if anything, even if there's no innovation, it's a great like networking event and like getting to see people in person. Like I have the shop, so I'm actually dealing with distributors on the phone and people I order with, and it's like, hey, how nice is it just to go shake their hand and be like, hey, thanks for all your help. So my
Right.
biggest takeaway was learning. I mean, I knew this, but learning even more how much at least our industry in terms of detailing, how important relationships are, and how important it is walking up to someone and shaking their hand and saying hello. And if you have a problem with someone, going up and talking about any problems that you have in person, right? And like just the power of relationships in this industry, because while it's huge, and I think detailing is like a $55 billion worldwide industry, the power of relationships is everything, and it's a huge industry, but it's also very small at the same time.
Mhm.
And so just building those relationships was really important for me, and compounding those, and forming new ones. So that was it. That was just a cool thing. And then getting to see people, even people who watch me on YouTube, a few people stop me and just shaking their hands and saying hello. So that was honestly better for me than like seeing a new shiny tool, just like actual like chatting with people. So that was cool.
That's fantastic. And for you,
Yeah, I think
Parash?
I think I would go again. I think relationships. I mean, that's such a big deal. Like being able to be face to face and like you said, like just shake someone's hand. I mean, I think in general, like people, like if you have like your own unique situation, like people generally just want to be nice to you. Like if there's not like like I feel like there's been a lot of drama, and I think that being able to like physically, be in front of people, instead of, you know, um, a lot of keyboard jockeying and stuff like that. I think being in front of people, talking to people face to face, seeing how people carry themselves, seeing the people that surround them, I think that I think honestly, I'd go again just to like do that, and really get a read on, what what these people are like. Like a lot of times, you buy one, cry once. People talking about like Chinese manufacturers not being good and things like that. The people that I met, like that are manufacturing some of these tools, honestly, like are super genuine. Like they're like, yeah, Merca is an amazing machine. We're trying our best to replicate it because it is so good. Like they didn't. The conversations that I had with the owner of ShineMate and some of these other companies is that they are the best. You're right, and
Mhm.
we want to be like them. It wasn't like, hey, we're trying to copy it to make a buck. It was honestly a really genuine. Anyway, so I guess what I'm saying is that having those kinds of conversations, I think, is really cool, and you don't get that over, emails, messaging,
Yeah.
and sometimes you don't get that. So, but
Uh,
yeah, I mean, I think Ryan, especially like if you have a shop and you're looking to innovate and find something new to carry or something that can be super helpful. I think SEMA is like an amazing place to kind of be able to do something like that.
Yeah, yeah, that exactly. And that to answer Dragon's question, the same thing. Yeah, my quick experience, like it changed because yeah, it's getting to see like innovation or meet new people and find new products. And like I said earlier, I might have found a couple of things I'll bring in. But yeah, it was just a cool experience, like chatting with people and like learning about the brand and hearing about it. And like you said, Doc, like I think that's one thing I'll probably bring up in the future videos. Like I think like Chinese manufacturing or Chinese made being a negative is kind of overrated at this point. Like they
Yeah,
want our business. They don't want to put out crappy products. They want to put out
for
better
sure.
products than what we're used to. So a lot of the times they're really good. And also
Yeah,
sidebar, isn't every tool we use in our, Milwaukee, DeWalt, they're all made in
yeah,
China anyways, right?
yeah. China, Taiwan. So, and
Yeah.
what's really interesting is that when these places, like across the board, it's not just tools and tooling and machines and power tools and things, but when like the American perspective is so different. Sometimes from like the European perspective, the Asian perspective, like a couple of the manufacturers I talked to were talking about runtime for the tool, and I'm like, bro, Americans love power. I was like, forget, I got like, we can buy like 50,000 batteries. I was like, forget runtime. I was like, make this the most powerful, smoothest machine you can. I was like, we'll buy more batteries. That's what we
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
let's get that, the way they, I don't know, I think you can only get that kind of stuff from SEMA. So I think
Yeah.
to answer your question directly, yeah, I think I'll go again next year.
What
Awesome.
about you, Steve? Are you gonna answer your own question?
Yeah.
100%. I am definitely going to go again next year. Um, like you said, so I'm replacing this year. What I've done is I was planning to go to MTE. Uh, I blew it all on Vegas essentially, and
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, going to SEMA again, the relationships, right? Not only did I get to see you guys, because we've all chatted over text, but never. I haven't met you guys before, so that was the first time. Um, and being able to spend time with the guys at Armor. Um, Dude, we spent time with, so we ran into Larry Casilla from Ammo
Hey, you and
NYC.
I, you and I chatted with him. I shot my shot.
Yeah, you did. You did. But,
Oh,
you
did you
know,
ask him to carry his stuff?
that's
Well,
but
twofold. I didn't. I mean, I don't. His stuff's like decent, but like, yeah, I asked him. I was like, "Hey, would you ever sell it in retail? Hey, I have a shop in retail." But I also said, "Hey, if you're ever in Scottsdale, I would love to film with you." So
Yeah.
yeah, that was like the big thing. But yeah,
yeah, so we saw Larry, but that's your foot in the door kind of situation, right?
yeah,
Um, I got to meet all the folks from Thor, like Adambo, Josh V. I got to catch up with Eddie and Jamie for a little bit. And it's funny, like Aaron and Christian, they live like an hour from me, but I always have to go to these events in Florida and Las Vegas to see these guys. Like I don't know why I do that. So I just think it's interesting that even people that are local to you, Chelsea, again, another person who lives like an hour from me, and I got to go to Vegas to see her. And it was so cool catching up. I mean, I had an awesome ride in the Tesla's loop with Christy and Jeff. Just randomly ran into them. We happened to be literally in the same Tesla slot. And yeah, got to ride in the car with them. and then catching up with, Sydney, and then the team from, PNS, and Brad Company, Buff and Shine with Tony. Like, everybody was there, and you could just walk up to them. They're not celebrities, but like, they're ready to talk detailing, and answer any question that you have. um, and then also building relationships, with Max Flow. Like, I can see that is going to be a new relationship for me, um, that I get to have in my back pocket if I ever have some sort of technical question for them. um, yeah, that door is open now. It wasn't before. So I think, yeah, SEMA next year, definitely going to go. I've got occasional detailer saying I'm still going to MTE, so apparently I don't have a choice in that. Um, I wanted to take the last, we're going to run over a little bit if you guys have time. Um, I wanted to go see if there were any questions in the chat that were, you know, uh,
I saw a pretty good
let's see.
question here.
Go ahead.
It says, all of you, what was the one trend, brand, product, or innovation that stood out for you, good or bad?
I already know my answer.
I don't.
Okay, I'll answer, and
Yeah,
I'll let
you
you guys.
answer. Yeah, and I've got a good one.
All right, cool. All right, so for me, it was Max Flow. Um, they are definitely in their infancy with their pressure washers. Um, but from what I saw, especially with the water cooling, nobody's doing that. Not a single person has a water cooled, um, electric motor. So on a hot day, like, that pump's going to be running cooler than anything on the market. So I think, and then the permanent magnet motors. I guess they found a way to bring that cost down. So the permanent magnet motors were always cost prohibitive. It's not so much that we didn't have access to it; it was just cost prohibitive. But now that they've gotten to a point of efficiency where they can downsize the motors and still pump out, like an AR, it's available to us now. It's available. So I think, for me, with Max Shine being so young,
Max
yet,
Flow.
or
Max
sorry,
Flow.
Max Flow, sorry, Max Flow being so young yet so unique, and bringing something new like that to the table. I think that was my, yeah. I think they're gonna set the stage for other companies. Barrage, you
What you
had
got,
one?
Ryan? Oh
Or
yeah.
you?
So, somebody wrote in the chat, detailing celebrities. You know, like
Oh,
I, I, I'm, uh, I'm not a fan. Like like I'm not. I wouldn't call myself a detailer. I run a business, but I've not been doing it for as long as other people around me, right? But I don't get the idea of detailing celebrities. So talk about like a negative trend. I don't like that. You know, I think that
no.
people have followers, people have viewers. I think that's great, but do what you got to do without the drama and just do it. Produce your videos, show what you got to show. But it's like, I don't know. I'm all about just stay in your lane and be happy and
Mhm.
try to avoid. So, but
Yeah.
that was like a trend that or a negative trend, so to speak, that I feel like I noticed, and I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually saw. So this wasn't a detailing person. This was, somebody in the car industry.
Yeah.
Um, they had their car on display, and they were some sort of influencer on YouTube,
Hmm.
and they weren't working the booth where their car was, but they would wander around the car and wait to get recognized. So it was it was really cringy. I was like,
Yeah.
what are we doing? But you're right, Praj. Like, we shouldn't hold, you know, detailing celebrities, and holding people on pedestals. Like, let's talk about Larry Casilla for a second. Um,
Yep.
I wouldn't have walked up to him if he didn't start his Discovery show. I would not have walked up to him, because my burning question for him was what was the transition like from YouTube to TV, right? I was interested in
Mm.
like what he did in that moment, but it wasn't, if he had just stayed on YouTube, there were other YouTubers that we passed along in the hallways that I, just yeah, cool.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, and
But I think they build their reputation like Larry's reputation, for example, is like I don't really see other people on his videos, right? Like every now and then you
mhm.
see his camera guy and you see like the guy who like owns the shop across the street that helps him do some technical stuff here and there, right? And and I think it's now I've never met the guy personally, but I think it's super genuine, you know?
mhm.
Like I read his content as super genuine, you know? But I don't know. It's just I think we need to like stop all this craziness and just be like, hey, here's a product that I'm using. I like it. I don't like it. Move on. You know.
Yeah,
So
Larry was she was super genuine to us and opened up to Steve and I about the discovery thing, and just a normal guy. And it was funny because he was literally walking around SEMA by himself. We like
yeah,
walked
Yeah.
up to him in the Sonex booth looking at the Beast wheel cleaner like by himself.
Yeah.
And like, hey Larry, and he started talking.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was
Yeah.
he was cool, but yeah, like I don't. There's no like detailing. Like Pan just could be considered a detailing celebrity. I met him last year and this year. He's just a normal guy, and it's just we all share that same passion. But yeah, to answer your initial question, or I forget where it started, but the innovation, honestly, I know we're talking about pressure washers. I do think the AR 635 is nuts. The fact that they're making a jump from 2.3 to 3.2. They're making a gallon per minute jump
that's
on the
huge.
Yeah.
same in essence,
Steve, were you
machine,
able to find out more
20 amp.
information about that? I asked the guy at the AR booth, and he's like, "I don't know how they did it." I'm like, okay,
We tapped out on that. That was a booth
okay,
that we
all right,
tapped out on. That they
yeah,
would,
okay,
But
I have their contact info, and I'm gonna ask.
yeah, I have their sales rep. But Bill asked, he's like, "Do we need pressure washers over 3 gallons?" I'm like, "Yes." I'm like, when I upgraded from the Krenza to even the AR at 2.3, you notice it. It like cleans faster. And
Yeah.
so I to get to you bet your butt I'm gonna get the 3.2 GPM unit when that comes out because that thing is
you're a true
sweet.
American. You're a true American, Ryan.
I am a
Bigger
true
and better.
American, but you know what? I'm gonna just follow in your footsteps and sell my AR on secondhand detailing, and someone will
There you
buy it
go.
and love it. It
Yeah.
only has like
Wait
10
till
hours on it.
yeah, there you go. I think I've got like 40 different polishers over the last year, you know.
Okay.
100%.
So, Franco, we have to honor Franco's question because of
Oh, we
his
say.
super chat. He was wondering, did any of us use the new flex corded forced rotationary polishing devices?
Probably be Josh.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
I,
used
I
them all.
didn't.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I've used them all. They are loud. They are very loud, but they are um, loud, very refined, though, in terms of vibration and power delivery. So they're ergonomically probably some of the best cordless polish or corded polishers that you can find. I think all corded polishers have like a certain level of ergonomics that is welcoming because you don't have to worry about a big battery at the end. So I think ergonomically, it's a phenomenal polisher. It's balanced and very minimal vibration. Force rotation in general should have less vibration because of the 8 millimeter orbit compared to anything else, like 15 or 21. So it is definitely a lot less vibration, but the noise is there because you're talking about multiple gear systems. So you do have a lot of excess noise, but those are beasts of polishers. They're very, very nice.
All right.
Yes.
Ryan, did you get a chance to use the new flex force
No,
rotation?
I didn't
No.
really go to the flex booth. I went and maybe took a peek somewhere in a back room for a quick second, and then that was it. So I didn't try any of the other stuff.
There was a lot of secretive meetings going on at the Flex booth.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
there was.
Oh yeah. 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 There. And you know what? You know, we saw it at Flex. It was happening at other places too. I
Oh
saw it.
yeah,
I saw it.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm not going to name names, but there are certain products that are going to be a hit, and
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of them. Um,
Mhm.
It's funny
so
why they don't just show it there and build a freaking massive amount of hype. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So many people launch stuff that's not ready to. What did we? Something I looked at that was there, and they're like, "Oh, it's not ready till March or something." I'm like, "So
Oh,
why are you
okay.
showing me?" Like,
Right,
so a lot of
right.
people do that. So I don't know why they were so secretive with some of these products. It's like you will build. It's better marketing for these companies if they showed people the things that some of us saw. You know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And who knows what's going on in the background, with whatever
I
IP they
think
might have on
I think
something.
sometimes that there's that, but then like, what if the product's a flop?
Right.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, you showed the world something, and then it it's not there anymore. I
Yeah,
feel like that ends up. I think people are scared of like the backlash of that.
Yeah.
sure. I would be for sure.
Yeah,
But then again, it's like, do you want to flop on a prototype or do you want to flop at mass production?
production. Yeah,
you know,
this is
when
true.
you've
You hope you
bought
have enough testers for whatever it is that you're producing to make sure it doesn't flop.
right, right. Um, all right. So the next question we have is from Chris M. Um, he's asking if we think MaxFlow will take over the market or will they fizzle out. Uh, do you guys go ahead?
Yeah. I spoke with the CEO today, actually. Um, I think they're, I think they're going to do big things. Personally, just because of what they can offer at the price point. Like that 2.3 gallon per minute or 2.4 at, I think the cost as of today is like $456 for the bare unit. And the point of like that the one is water cooled and two that um the machine is and doesn't have that high whine as some others on the market.
Hmm.
I even gave they sent me a sample unit and I gave it to like 3 different mobile detailers by me, and it's not we're in winter, but it's still we still had like 90s in the days. These guys had open bed trucks, and like you said, with water cooled, like I think that's gonna be huge within like the mobile space. I think that's gonna be super underrated in the mobile space. So maybe I'm, going too big on them, but I think they're gonna be pretty big, to be honest.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
there's
Um,
a couple of these Chinese manufacturers of polishers. So to force myself to make an innovation, a positive comment. There's a very specific manufacturer that I've talked to that um, I think will not, I wouldn't say like disrupt industry. I don't think things would do that. We're very mature for that, but I feel like there's plenty of innovation still left on the polisher side of things.
yeah. I mean, we saw it with Merca. We saw it with
Yeah,
Merca, and it's only a matter of time before we start seeing those innovations hit retail.
yeah, for sure.
All right. Um, let me go to my questions here, see what else we got. Slick auto styling. What would you have liked to see more of at SEMA? I'm not
I
sure.
can't. Yeah, I
I
was gonna say I had like a really good time. I honestly did. Like
I,
I thought I saw everything I wanted to see.
I kind of needed to see less
Yeah,
because I didn't have
yeah,
enough time to get through anything. I thought the one haul that was kind of a waste of time, and I thought it was going to be good, was the tires. Um, you know, I don't remember the name of the hall, but it was the downstairs hall, and it was full of just basically Chinese Asian manufacturers of tires.
Yeah.
Uh, the issue that I had was I couldn't differentiate from any of them. They would all have 3 or 4 brands under their name, have a few off-road tires, some all seasons, and it was like the same thing at every booth, and I was like, where's the good stuff?" Like, you know
Yeah.
what I
hmm
mean? Um,
Uh,
Like, how's your compound better or worse, than the next guy?
yeah, exactly, exactly. So that I think that hall could probably use a little work. But as far as what I'd like to see more of, man, that's tough because there was so much to see there. It would have been actually would have been nice to see active at SEMA.
I saw the CEO walking around. Did
I
you
saw
see
him
him?
walking around too. Yeah, I saw him
Totally
walking
missed
Yeah,
around.
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was walking around for sure.
He
Dang.
he wasn't necessarily undercover, but he was checking things out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. I saw that now they offer a wait list on their website, so they have some innovation coming. They're kind of doing the Killens thing
Yeah.
where they like put that out there. But what I would
Yeah.
actually like to see is I don't know why, or maybe it's just like the old ways. Like I don't, there doesn't need to be a North Hall for like new exhibitors. I understand there's probably not enough space, but like for me, it would have been nicer to be a little bit more organized. And so,
Mhm.
like, I don't care if you're north or you're west, because yeah, you can stay in the North Hall, which is for the first time exhibitors, but AR was in there and they've been there for 4 years, so you can choose to stay in that hall, is what I found out. But anyways, I'd like to see it organized better. I'd like to see all the detailing in one area, and I don't have to go to three different halls to see that, and that would be interesting. But I get it. Pressure washers can also be used for commercial use, not necessarily detailing, but like that would have been nice to have it all slightly
Mhm.
better organized. Just because, you had the map on your phone, but it was so freaking hard to navigate, and like I had no idea where things were. Um,
Agreed.
maybe better navigation or something would have been interesting.
Totally agree. It's definitely a situation where like you need navigation, um,
Yeah.
because it's just such a huge facility.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I definitely missed a lot.
yeah, I could sit here forever and say, talk about all the stuff I saw, um, but just the availability of the things there. Like I got lost in racing simulators, dude. Like not in detailing, like there were so many racing simulators, and I'm gonna get a lot of spam phone. I've already started to get them, not spam, but just like marketing emails because you have to sign up, on your phone for everything. So,
Yeah. You want a ten
um,
thousand dollar racing sim? Yeah.
yeah, I did go back. So there was a racing sim that you could win, and on the whatever day 2 or day 3 of SEMA, I was up in second place for that. So I went back to try and beat my lap record, to try and get it, but some guys were really fast, so I there's no chance there.
Did
But
you guys see any of the drifting demos outside?
oh yeah, yeah. I I was on I was on a FaceTime with my kids, and
Mhm.
I was walking outside. I was FaceTiming them, and all you could see was just a plume of smoke.
Smoke. Yeah.
Just and you couldn't see what was inside the smoke. So, but I could hear the engine just, and this thing is just spinning around,
Mhm.
spinning around, spinning around, and of course, like once the smoke starts to clear, you see this vehicle come into view, and
Mhm.
it was basically four wheels, a V8, and a couch.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
the boys, they were, yeah. I know I've told you guys the story, but the boys were laughing so hard at that because like they were in the same level of just disbelief that
Like,
I was
what in
in.
the world, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, and then of course,
I remember
they're
last year, Rutch
go
and
ahead.
I were at one of those things, and like we were like covered in like rubber and tar, because of all the burnouts and stuff like that,
Oh yeah,
and like all the tar flying all over the place and stuff. So
yeah. They would come in with a skid steer to scrape up all the
yeah,
rubber off
yeah,
off the
yeah,
pavement.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, yeah, that was wild. The drifting. Um,
yeah.
all right, and then let's see. That is Chris M was wondering if we're in a 3D print farm. Um, no, not really. This is just kind of a side thing that I do because it's fun to play with, and uh, I picked up this new one. I think just a few days before SEMA, um, and it's so much easier than using this one. So it's pretty cool little upgrade. But
But now we all know, right? Now we all know. So we're all going to come at you with
go for it.
things to print.
Go for it. um, all right, let me look at the live chat real quick. See if we have anything else um, sitting in here.
Yeah.
Dark Dragon, yes, you're right. Cough, cough. Um,
Ghost asked about hands 1 year. I heard him say that it's not a reformula. They basically just like weaken the 8 years. So if it's anything like the 8 year, which is I'm a year in on my car, like it's probably going to be pretty legit. Is one
That's a
year.
nice coating. Yeah, the 8
It's a
years
nice
and
coating. Yeah, I don't love spray coatings, but like I guess it's the same as Nexen or Phobic, but at least like you said, Phobic has the dropper. So that's just how I would prefer to do it, just so there's like no overspray. So yeah, if he could add a dropper to his, I think that would be a smart move. But um, it's like one of the most user-friendly coatings on the market in pans at least. So I'm sure it'll be great.
Ryan, there was a question here from Dark Dragon that I thought was pretty good here. It was, has the SEMA experience changed now that you're a business owner?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm like actually looking sorry, I'm actually looking for like products and innovation. Last year I didn't even really film any content both years, just because again 50 other people are doing the same videos, so I didn't really want to do that. But yeah, SEMA is interesting because now I'm digging in from a different perspective, and trying to find, not necessarily trying to find the next hot thing, but yeah, it'd be cool. Like there were a lot of exhibitors at SEMA that do not have US distribution, and so if you've got the
Mhm.
coin, you can be that distributor, right? And be that guy. And so I think someday that would be a really cool thing to do. Like, so for example, like the US importer for ShineMate or Labo Cosmetica is Parks Car Care, right? So he secured those deals. Well, Nick's not very much different from me. He has a detail shop and a store, right? Like, so that would be really cool to do one day, is to be like, OG is the exclusive importer of built hamburger in the US. So I think that's what's opened my eyes. And again, I'm not looking for like this my aha moment, but it is cool to see the brands that are not in the US yet. And if I could have some sort of vision to say like, hey, I think you've got something here and take a risk on it, that would be cool. So that's just how I'm like approaching it now. Just seeing what I can find.
Awesome. Um, yeah, I can't imagine because I went just as a spectator this year. Basically, I'm not a huge buyer. I'm not coming home with 15 polishers and 20 batteries in my bag. Uh,
Well, that's the thing too. Like with everyone wants to act big until it's time to pull out the checkbook. Like some of these, like there was some, what was it? There's some Korean chemical manufacturers like Bullet or something, right? Like
mhm.
in this, like if you want to do this, you need like $100,000 purchase order. Like it's not like I'm going to order a pallet, now I'm the distributor. It's like you need to order some volume, and so that's
Yeah.
also the other side of it, where it's like it looks cool on paper, but until you like actually have the coin to do it, it's gonna be a while.
Mhm.
Um, there was a question. Uh, Dark Dragon again with another good one. Who is your favorite 1K YouTuber and why is it Steve Pearson? Paraj, I'll start with you. No, we don't have to do that. I'm not going to do
No,
that.
so I don't know many 1K YouTubers that are genuine
Here we
like
go.
yourself. Okay, so I would tell you that our honestly our conversation we had about like the technical aspect of things, I didn't know that about you, and I gained a lot of respect and learned a lot about you with that kind of thing. Like we connected because like we're looking at things technically, and seeing how things work and why is it so good. So
Like, dude, likewise. You're not just a doctor, is something that I found out. You did your research, you bought the right tools to do what you're doing, and you're going about it very systematically too, which doctors will do, especially in like a research setting. But um, it caught me off guard, your mechanical knowledge. So I was, yeah, likewise, equally as impressed with you. And same with you, Ryan. We have chatted, but when I saw you in person, working these deals with Casilla, and but still, like I saw your game face.
Yeah.
It was out there, it was present, and you were working, like you were out there working, and watching you build this business over the past couple of months. Really, it hasn't been a long time. um, I mean, what an honor, right? We never get to see somebody go from like that, working 9 to 5 to now you're running your own operation. That's, and you funded it yourself. Like that, this is all you, and if it doesn't work, it's on you. So I have to really respect that hustle, that you've got going on.
Yeah, I appreciate all the support. I know I picked your brain over time when I was like thinking about doing some things that I called you, but yeah, dude, this was a fun trip. I'm excited for future trips and would love to still get, we got, for everyone who doesn't know or didn't hear, we got a house together. We all stayed together at SEMA and we cooked every night. And one night we went for Indian food and fucking doctor gets a spice level of 10 and we're
Oh
all
my
dying.
god.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. The house was the whole house experience was just such a blast. So we stayed with Armor Detail Supply. So a couple of guys from there were with us. So massive thanks to them because I think they put together some extracurriculars that were incredibly fun. We had a nice cookout and where we had like hibachi brought into us, that was so cool. Um, so yeah, that was a good time. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to SEMA again, but I'm also looking forward to the year ahead
Yeah.
with what we know now and what we saw and how we're going to carry it. So
Yeah, it'll be exciting, but congrats on 1,000, Steve. I know the
thank you.
grind is not
Yeah.
easy. But yeah, you're doing it the right way and you're sticking with your unique style. And I think it's extremely like it's just a fresh perspective. And maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea because it can get technical, but I'd nerd out on it. I watch every one of your videos, so
I appreciate
I
that.
appreciate what you do. Yeah.
I appreciate that, guys. And again, so I think we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Everybody who tuned in, I know we had 30. I wasn't looking at the numbers, but it was like 30 some odd people at one point. Um, this was, full of technical difficulties because I've never done a live stream before. We're not doing it like this again if we do. Um, but I would like to have more of these Turbo 6 debriefs where maybe not a regular podcast, but a live discussion that we can bring people in and just kind of have a nice casual here. So, and again, everybody that has supported me, I mean, 1,000 is nothing compared to like some of these big channels, but it is everything to me. So, whether it's one person, five people, or 1,000, um, if I can help one person with detailing or getting them, helping understand something, then I'm happy. So again, thank you so much, everybody, for your support. Uh, Ryan Paraj, thanks for sitting down with me today.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
yeah, I appreciate it. We'll see you all later.
All right. Sounds good. See you
And
guys.
hopefully the stream turns off. Hopefully. We'll see. I'm gonna click some buttons and see what happens. You take care.